Just showing you again those pictures from earlier of Taliban fighters behind the desk of the presidential palace.
Taliban forces took over the Afghan capital of Kabul on Sunday, seizing power in the country after just over a week of swift advances across Afghanistan.
The speed of this Taliban takeover has shocked anyone that I know who has followed the developments in the country, and shocked Afghans in Kabul.
As the fighters entered the city, President Ashraf Ghani fled the country. And by Monday morning, people worried about living under Taliban rule flocked to Kabul's airport.
This is all happening far faster than U.S. officials had predicted, and so a lot of questions on Sunday about what went wrong.
Here's how the Taliban's takeover is creating new challenges for the Biden administration and an uncertain future for the Afghan people.
It didn't take long before thousands of Afghans were swarming the airport, hoping to get out on evacuation flights. Some people had tickets on civilian flights that were later cancelled. Overnight, there was a lot of chaos, and at least 3 people were killed by gunfire. We're not entirely sure by who, but it's the US military that has taken control of security of the airport.
Meanwhile, the US military has sent extra American troops to Afghanistan to help facilitate this evacuation. There are currently roughly 6,000 American troops either in Kabul airport or on their way there, according to US military officials.
I think an Afghan inclusive government, this is the demand, the will, and the want of the people of Afghanistan.
The Taliban have said repeatedly that Afghan civilians have nothing to fear from them. They also say that girls under the Taliban will be allowed to go to school. But the fact is, what we've seen since they entered Kabul, we've seen the Taliban raid NGO offices, erect checkpoints throughout the city, and people are concerned that the Taliban will instate the same kind of authoritarian rule that they had in the 90s. We haven't seen large-scale violence against civilians in Kabul yet, but there is already a very pervasive sense of fear in the capital.
As the Taliban advanced, the U.S. was counting on Afghan forces that it had invested billions of dollars in to train and build up over the past 20 years.
Is the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan now inevitable?
No, it is not. Because you have the Afghan troops have 300,000 well-equipped as any army in the world, and an air force, against something like 75,000 Taliban. It is not inevitable.
But Afghan security forces largely surrendered without a fight, so that by Sunday, Taliban fighters were able to take control of the whole country. The Biden administration stood by its decision to exit Afghanistan.
We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission, and that mission was to deal with the folks who attacked us on 9/11. And we have succeeded in that mission.
Perhaps the speed at which this happened wasn't predictable, but the Taliban's takeover was largely predictable. And so a lot of questions now, if President Biden either didn't know about that, that's a problem with intelligence issues or his own policy discussions. If he did know about it and didn't care to do more, then what does it say about his willingness to remain committed and maintain his promises to allies around the world?
The Taliban's rapid takeover of Afghanistan also has implications for the surrounding region.
It's the security implications. Pakistan and Iran and also all the bordering countries are terrified that, you have a refugee crisis, people spilling over the borders. We're already seeing people trying to rush out of the country in fear of what will come.